Let's try that again. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Thanks for all the feedback in regards to the journal, and also you guys wanting to set up some um, community of sorts. We've had a few emails back for Sydney, Melbourne, and Perth, Adelaide as well. So I'll work something out and get it out to you, and sort of, how would I say this, mediate the start of that, and then leave you to your own designs. Um, Bit of fun overnight last night on the US dollar. Their GDP got stronger, but then things turned around pretty quickly as well, with the next data that was out. So all in all, it looks like we're still in phase one in most stuff, but you know, the euro and the pound seem to have bottomed, and are struggling to either do a phase two or continue on. Aussie got back underneath this long-term fib, and it's playing around with it at the moment. Not in that, as I said. Well, yeah, I just didn't take that because I just thought this level was quite supportive. Whereas in the Kiwi here, we're making lower lows. Two consecutive seller bars, and this is a seller bar only by 2 pips, but it's a seller bar nonetheless. And I've moved the stop. The other trade I've got going, well, trades I have going, is this one, the pound knock. That's, it could move the stop potentially, but I did move it after this reversal bar, and we'll just leave that for the time being. Euro, excuse me, Euro pound's the other one. Had a reversal bar this morning, so have moved the stop to just above that reversal bar. So that's all I've got on at the moment, and I'm not looking to take anything else on really. There is a few phase 2 trades setting up, as we'll see from the emails, but I'd really rather not trade phase 2 at this stage, certainly not against the yen, even though that's looking like it is trying to do a phase 2. I think it's just a pretty powerful move, and it's dangerous to trade against it. So let's come to your emails. What's the first one? Is Euro CAD. Okay. Attached a shot of the Euro CAD for some feedback. Looks like it's retesting the break of a descending triangle. Yeah, there certainly is a support level there, and it's working. Look, this is a break. The fact that it's closed back above that support level is a bit concerning. You'd want to see strong selling in today's bar. The CAD is getting a little stronger, although oil price tanked again last night, as did iron ore. So maybe the CAD will struggle to gain some traction. But this, yeah, certainly does look like it has. The fact that it's closed back on that level that you've got there, or even if it's on these lows here, certainly back above it. I'd be interested to see what price that is, because it might be a little higher than that, where you've got it. The market likes round numbers, so it might be 14050 is the level, or where it is right now looks to be the level. So yeah, certainly strong buying coming back to test that line, and this could end up being what they call a false break, and that's why it's dangerous to trade the breaks. You should trade the retest, and certainly if you get the selling off that level in the next day, in today's bar preferably, then yes, you should be trading that, because that's the retest would have held. But at this stage, it seems to be more of a false break, because price is moving back above it. As I said, I think the euro's found a bottom around here, and may look to be sort of back in the 126s in the days to come. So, despite I don't think Draghi's actually going to do anything or add stimulus, even though he says he is. He's been saying he has for 18 months now. had gone nowhere. I'm also short dollar CAD, or sorry, long dollar CAD, and looking to get into the trend on the euro. Any thoughts? Dollar CAD, I think you may have got in a little too early. It's I know I got in here, which is way too early and got stopped out. We then have an inside sort of buyer bar. Then today's is a higher high, higher low, or yesterday, sorry, but it's a seller bar, so not ideal. And you should be looking to get in above the high of this bar, perhaps. If price gets up there, there's certainly going to be buying sentiment there for you to jump on board with. It's I'm not sure why you're in just yet, but sorry, already, because this you shouldn't be trading off this inside bar. It's not really strong enough to indicate an entry. This one here is looking good because it was coming off this lows or these highs here, found support, found buying. Unfortunately, the day we got in, it turned around. So, I'm not sure if bringing in the dollar CAD right now is maybe just a little early. Could be looking at it for today, but as I said, only if buying gets up there. This email is just telling me how things are. Right, what do we got here? CAD Sing. Okay. Trend continuation. Checklist. Lower highs and lower lows. Well, if you're looking at, depending on what you're saying, it's cycling along. Okay. Horizontal resistance, yeah, certainly has that. RSI convergence, yeah. I wouldn't say that's hidden divergence. Only if this was a higher high than this would it be hidden. I know what you're saying. It's back that the horizontal line and RSI is higher. Not exactly hidden divergence. So hidden divergence is more for trends in the cycles. Okay. Bearish price action. High test bars. But appear doji. Fib retracement. Okay. Hidden divergence. Right. Yeah. Just the hidden divergence is more for trends. And as to the cycles, it depends on what you're saying. It's cycling along. Yeah, why don't I have all that data? Let's see. Yeah, just going back to your chart, I'm going to have to eyeball it. If there's a trend line along there and you're saying that this is the start of phase one and that's the end of phase two, start of a new phase one, yes, I can see why you would be doing that. But the other factor you've got to consider is here you've got a phase one and phase two, and then you've got another attempt at phase one that failed, and it's now doing a phase one higher above the EMAs, and so you've got higher highs and higher lows. So this horizontal resistance is certainly something worth looking at, though, and whilst it's not a strong setup, it's a possible entry. That certainly is a high test bar. This does look like a doji, as you mentioned, sort of uncommitted, but it's certainly a lower high, lower low. So we've got a ring high here off that horizontal you've identified. Let's say $1.16, call it. It's a nice round number. It's $1.16 there. And you certainly, I don't know if you take this, I'd be putting a target on this one. Momentum's in the right area to get short. You mentioned that there's hidden divergence. Well, if there's cyclicity there, we should be looking for it. My concern is that we're now getting higher highs and higher lows, really. And so, do you target this as a phase two style there, or as I said, I'd certainly be having a target on it risk reward sort of 2 to 1, and your risk is going to be approximately 100 pips. So looking for 200 brings you down to this area here, which is okay. Yeah. But yeah, I'd be a little concerned about these higher this move here. However, oil prices tanking, so the commodities, so getting short Canadian dollars is probably a good thing. All right. Okay. Otherwise, just from the high of the 19th to the 9th, yeah. So that's your, okay, so you're saying that's your cycle. Right there. Fair argument, I'll leave you to it. Not going to talk you out of that one. Right. Pound yen did not trigger this morning, however, what do you think of the phase 2 setup? Yeah, it's all there, isn't it? You've got the divergence across all these highs. I'm not sure if the strong horizontal you use E-signal, so I don't see it as a huge horizontal level. I wonder if there's a fib from here to here. I wonder if my E-signal will give me that data. Yeah, well, cool. Sorry, my MetaTrader. Well, there's your strong. Whoop. There's your strong horizontal. Come here, you. Alright, it's over that. That's worrying, because that was resistance. It's now looking like it's support. What else you got in here? Don't know about that. Don't know about this line here. 185 round number. Look, I think you'll struggle with this one, just to be honest. I do see the pound and the euro getting a little stronger from here. So I wouldn't be taking, and as I said at the start, getting long yen, which is selling this pair, I think is a dangerous move. When we see crap like this or pullbacks like this, it gives us an opportunity on the 4 hour potentially. We're seeing those cycles and entries, potential entries. This fib here, as we can see, if we look at the weekly, I suppose, how the 382 was resistance, then big support. It's come up to the 50, and it's playing around with that right now. So that's a concern. As at the same time, you got the pound getting the pound US getting bullish for a few days. So I think this is pretty. Whilst it looks good and as a setup, I think you will struggle to get it. The dollar yen itself will be going to 120, if not 124. And the reason I say that is because of these highs back here. That's at 124. And I've heard calls of 140, 150. So trading against it is not the desired option. You make more money going with the trend, and so we should be looking for those kind of opportunities. If there's any pullback per se to get long in, then that's where you look for what you look for. It's around the 17 in here would be an ideal opportunity, or even these lows if it gets to them. or starts to turn off these lows here, 1, 2, 3, 4 lows, if it starts to turn off those, and that's your entry. But I'd be sort of looking for a bounce off 17 if possible. On the 4 hour, you know, momentum's down here. Daily's worked some of the momentum off, and so we could see another leg up from here. Obviously it's not down as low here, but then we can also see that you get pullbacks and leg ups all the way across here. It's just still running. Yep. So that pound yen does look good as a phase 2, I agree, but yeah, a little worried about it, so I'd rather not try to trade against it. Okay, so Swiss yen weekly. Channel trading. Yeah, it's had a high test off that, and it's certainly reversed. I wonder what it's testing from though. Yeah, what's this high test? Nice round number. Risk reward 1-to-1. Only soft since it is a high for the last 20 years. Okay, so yeah, walk away. No strong call, but it is at all-time high for the last 20 years. That's alright. If the Swiss National Bank vote goes through this weekend, I don't think it will, but if it does go through this weekend, then you're going to have the SMB buying a lot of Swiss dollars to prop it up, which should strengthen that. And I think it's just, again, trading against it, friggin' tricky. I know it's all-time highs, but you've got to have it'll have a high somewhere in the last 20 years. Yeah. Just got to go with the momentum, and as I said, I'm not trying to trade against the yen. Alright, so CAD Sing. Let me just put these away. Alright, CAD Sing short phase 1 for tomorrow, or aggressively today after the high test bar. Okay, weekly, certainly strong trend, isn't it? And then if you're looking, the gentleman before you was looking at this horizontal as well. I think he's got it a little lower than you at 16. Not 16, 11. Lovely channel trade there, and you should be looking for a target down there, I suppose. In terms of cyclicity, yeah, if off yours you're saying this is cycle 1, then this is cycle 2, has come back to 61.8. That's good, and then you got this ring high, absolutely, and your target is 1, 2, 3. You got 3 targets. Prices below the moving averages, no, but that's not no major difference. Horizontal, strong horizontal resistance, absolutely. Trendline resistance, good, clear, major support, hidden divergence. Okay. Again, if it's you're looking at it's cycling along this trend line, then there is no hidden divergence. Okay, because it's actually convergence. And if you're saying this is cycle 1, cycle 2, sorry, phase 1, phase 2, phase 1, phase 2. I'd have to disagree with you on that, purely because of your trend line. It looks a lot neater where you got this phase 1 a lower high, phase one, a lower low, whereas this phase one didn't produce a lower low here. So I prefer the trend line cyclicity angle that you're going from, and therefore there's no hidden divergence. Okay. Risk reward 2.8. Okay, cool. Yep, that looks all okay. Just keep an eye on oil price. Get rid of that. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at that. Well, maybe I do. I'll look at that for a long trade. Dollar yen. Certainly, it was just almost a 5-year, sort of 4-year trend. Bounced along here many times. Is there a strong horizontal there? Seeing the cyclicity in this is a little tricky. At least here we're making higher highs each one, and then we get this sort of crap, and that might be what's happening again. The fact that it hasn't breached that high when it came up here is a bit of a concern to me in the overall scheme of things. You want to see, I mean, this high here didn't really breach that one either. And then it made a lower low, so this sort of tricky stuff to trade could be occurring again, especially when you consider that it's failed to breach that high. And I think that's a pretty strong horizontal going back into the noughties. But yeah, 4-year run, might be worth looking at it for a little amount of yeah. When you look at it like that, it looks more ranging, doesn't it? Yeah. Sort of more ranging than anything else really, bouncing between those. But the weekly trend is pretty strong. So there's your weekly, alright. Then we go to the daily. You're taking it back to those highs, risk reward. Two times your risk. Any horizontal support, soft there, yeah, strong here. Certainly the long-term trend line. And what happened? So you may have been got in that trade. You do have a lower low, not its. Yeah. Because if we come back to the weekly again, that long-term trend, you want to see each one. These are all higher highs, yeah. Each little cycle along that trend line. And then we get to this, touch the trend line across here, and now it's failing to produce it. So that to me would be a sort of heads up warning as to the strength of any sort of buying coming off this. And surprisingly, the US dollar turned around after the, I think it was consumer confidence or something last night. What was it? GDP was strong, but then they had consumer confidence a lot weaker, along with the HPIs and Richmond Manufacturing Index. So turned around quite quickly off that. We had selling, a little bit of buying, selling, and then some buying. Did you get into it? Did you take the trade? Shit. $1.50 to put on it. Dollar risk, $400, so that's about a quarter or a third risk percent, quarter. Right, well, I suppose there's not much you can do except for manage that trade now. This looks like it's going to be a reversal bar if it doesn't stop you out. However, looking at it off this line here, I'd be inclined to say, yeah, there's a potential range trade there. This horizontal that you identified, as you said, was soft. I think the trend line sort of faked you into it, really. And if you had the coming off, waited until it's coming or turned on the strong horizontal, then it might have looked a little better. Pound knock, or dollar knock. Your email says dollar knock, but your email says, or your picture says pound knock. Since I missed the first one last week, but on AxiTrade it gapped up this morning and I missed the retrace to enter. How would have you entered on a limit order? Are we talking pound knock or dollar knock? Pound knock I'm in. I got in over here after this swing low. And there's a strong horizontal here that it's now pushed through and closed. Finally it's closed above it, so that's good. Has gapped on this morning. Did it gap this morning? Gapped up this morning. It looks like it gapped down this morning. Or were you talking yesterday? I'd never try and chase the market. If your entry was supposed to be above here, you would have placed a limit order and been patient. I think when it did gap, actually take their time and filling it. Yeah, it initially came off, so it would have been fair to stay in that as a limit order here. Is there an entry today? Well, not really. If you're not in this now, I think you're already missing the takeoff. So you'll be looking at the cyclicity on this shorter time frame here. So the question, would you have entered a limit order on this? Yes, I would have. So you wrote this yesterday. Yeah, as I said, limit order at your whatever your entry price was, which is, it's a good trend. Oil price, is getting toasted again, so this is good for this trade. And your entry price, entry level 60. Yeah, so put it as a limit order at that level. Okay. Yeah, everything there for the trade. The hidden divergence, everything. So we took this last week, but potentially take it today. Then coming to the lot size calculator, this one's risking $400. Lot size of 0.13. Spread. I've just got a question online. I wanted to get the pound knock trade the other day, but the number of pips of risk seemed to be massive, as was the spread. I thought my calculations, I'm guessing that's normal for this currency pair. Yeah, my calculator wasn't working on this either when I went to place it last week, and so I just did a small amount and only risked for what you guys, for your account size, would have been 0.1. Um, for my account size, it's 1. Um, and it seems to be working out okay. It is a little tricky to when your lot size calculator isn't working. But if you place an order of, say, if I've got just a 1 lot there, when I placed it, you can put your mouse on here and it'll show me, well, that's going to be my dollar loss, which I know for my account is 1/4%, so or 0.5%, sorry, just under 0.5%. So I'm okay with that. And up here, I'll know that my target is just a little over 1.3% as a target. So comfortable with that. I have moved my stop, so the stop was originally under here, and it was close to 2.5. The spread is quite drastic on this. 68, 92, 69, 82, so that's 90 pips, which is quite heavy to handle. But when you're targeting, that would indicate that the target is around 3,734. The problem is that actually I've got this, when it's 2 digits in front of the decimal place, the lot size calculator and actually trader struggle to have the decimal place. So you just move the decimal place by or shift the decimal place on your lot size. Yeah, it is a little tricky. Okay. And mate, did you get in at your price of 65.42? Or did you chase? I hope you didn't chase. It didn't come down there. It came down. Well, you paid up. Is that what you're saying? When you say no, means you paid up. I was looking at this, hoping this would get down to here yesterday. Unfortunately, it didn't. It rolled. I did not place a limit order, so you paid up. Right, yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to trade that kind of bar. That's just way overextended. But you look at all this sort of stuff, and then you start trading here. It's no, thank you. So I'll take that one off. EuroCAD, I think we've discussed. Is there anyone else looking at the EuroCAD? Euro. Can this be traded on the 240 short? Do you see this trending on the daily or moving sideways? Fundamentally selling is the trade, but it is priced too far from the 50 on the daily. Do you see this as end of phase 1? This is what I'm looking at on the 240 chart. What do you think? I'm waiting until it hits the 50 before doing anything. Good question. Euro dollar. Quite a bit of support here at 124. And if we're looking at the hourly, sorry, I looked at the hourly here off this sort of horizontal here. Looked at the hourly and got out at break even yesterday. But seeing this sort of bounce off this support level of 124, and also this, well, that's when it broke through that. Let's have a look at the 4 hour when it broke through that. I wouldn't be looking to short it now, okay, on the 4 hour. So whilst the daily trend and fundamentally getting short the euro is the trade, as you suggest, I think there's just maybe a little bit of strength coming into it at the moment because they haven't done any stimulus. I think there's a bit of flow going back into the euro at the moment, and I'd be unwilling to trade the 4 hour. I'd now prefer to be looking at cycling and going long the Aussie, long the hourly. There's just quite a bit of mess going on here between 124 and this area here of 126, and I don't know if I'd want to short the 4 hour in the middle of that. you know what I mean. Okay, maybe short it from up here somewhere, but I just, yeah, I think I'll be staying out of the daily for the moment. Sorry, out of the euro for the moment. The NOK pairs should be traded to the yen pairs the second. No, I think the NOK should be traded to the third. Okay, they're talking here. They're saying this. It's 40.35. I believe it should be 94.03. So because the decimal place here is normally on the calculator is there, right? So it's now shifted here, and now that we're it's saying it's over close to 100 pips, but I believe it should be 703 and 694. So you're talking 94 to 03. It's a what's that 9 pip spread, not a 90 pip spread. Okay, so you should be looking at the third decimal, not the fourth, which is what actually trader have got of that, and what the lot size calculator works off. Okay, so this one here, yes, I know there's a bit of consolidation here, but I wouldn't. The fact that it's turned off 124 and did it aggressively. I can see it came down and aggressively got off that. Looking at the 4 hour there, if you had an order under 124, that would have been good, but obviously price didn't go in your favour, didn't trigger you in, and I certainly wouldn't be looking at it now, because what we're getting on the daily is another rejection of this level and moving higher with sort of quite a bit of strong buying in the daily. So not looking at the 4 hour on that, but thank you, that's good. This one, CAD, been waiting for this to pull back to the 50. I didn't trade this on the 20th because I saw the RSI still has some room to move down. Okay, well done. You actually didn't get caught out like I did. And it looks, I've still got movement, and it looks the same again. Do you see the RSI still moving down? Is this classic C hidden divergence? Higher highs, higher lows. Yeah, we're certainly getting that cyclicity. Support of the 50, horizontal support. Yeah, that's that long-term fib. And you've got the short-term fib off the 786, good. Hidden divergence is this class C. I'll have a look at that. Target fib extension 1.618, which is also, what do you say? Off the, yeah, targeting this 61.8 off the monthly. Yep, okay, that's all good. Love that shit. So the question on hidden divergence remains. Look, this, if you look at where these, right, a bit of a horizontal support there at 32 in the RSI. And yeah, that's what you potentially call Class C hidden divergence and good cyclical action. As I said, you could potentially trade this today. I'm not, I wouldn't be risking the full 1% because this bar here is selling. Right? Yes, for us to get triggered in by going in above the high of this bar, around there, you'll have buying sentiment in the market. But ideally I would have liked this bar to be a buyer bar, and then going on the next day. But you could be trading this today, placing an order for it today with your stop under here. Yeah, so it's quite a big stop too. What are we looking at? 140 pips or so. Yeah, but certainly you've got all the hallmarks of a reasonable entry there. Not sure if that's a responsible trend line, because why wouldn't you just have that low there? How it's low test off this 382. So I wouldn't have trend line, and yes, target here is a reasonable assumption. Okay. Right. And that's it for the day. As I said, I'll get to I'll get around to giving you guys the NOXEC. So yeah, I forgot to do that one. Let me cover that one. Not like that for long. Not range trading anymore. Refuse to range. Well, I've got one range trade on, and look how it's going. Didn't even get anywhere near the other side of it. So now I've got a cycle above the 50 EMA. So much for friggin' range trading. Okay, NOXEC. I know we took this the other day. Once bitten, twice shy. Got into the trade and then had it immediately turn around on us. Certainly is a lot of keen selling in this area, and we still have lower highs and lower lows. The one thing that we, when I looked at this last week off this level here, is that it was only a soft horizontal. I know that I say that that's all you need, is a soft horizontal. But ideally you would wanted it to be something a little stronger than that, because that's, I think, is there a high back here somewhere? Alright, so if we, there's one there. I'm looking at these highs here, okay. But I think the stronger resistance horizontal is potentially across there. Yeah, we've got all these turning points. There's certainly, we can see there's quite a bit of interest in selling here. And the question was, can we talk about the NOXEC? Pending order to go short again, the signal has hit all the checklist points. Okay. Yeah, the 50's under the 200. I would not be putting a lot of risk on this. I just kind of get the sense that, well, maybe it's because I got burnt on it last week, but yeah, there's good reasons for it turning around this area here. Right, so it does fit all the hallmarks, and it does, you get all your checklists. That's great. The horizontal resistance is not that strong, not as strong as, doesn't have to be a hard one, like this one's clearly a hard, and that's clearly hard, but there's, you want it a little harder than what it's turning on at the moment, and therefore I wouldn't be putting a whole lot of risk on it. And the other thing is how far south can oil fall. Right? It's not going to go to zero, and it's already hurting a lot of producers. Come on, why is it taking so long? Alright, so here's oil price. As I said, it got smoked last night, but 50 maybe, where's the how far? Where's real support's probably down here around the 30 level. Looking at that chart, but yeah, I think it's just a little bit overdone and could do with a bit of a pullback. But you can't trade against that. But if this does have a pullback, is where I'm going with this, is that your knock sec trade is going to get destroyed. Okay, so just be mindful of that. Wouldn't be putting a lot on it, but it certainly fits the bill. Okay. All right. Have been eyeing the euro pound for long on daily. Have you discussed that pair? Sorry, I missed the first 5 minutes. Look, I took it as a range trade underneath this bar here, and have moved my stop because of this reversal bar. You can see my target there. It's not it's not, well, range trades. I seem to always lose out on them. And you could argue that what we're seeing now is a nice round number of 79 cents. We're getting a cycle above the 50 EMA and above this horizontal support resistance line, and we're seeing buying off that. So you could argue and potentially take the trade long from here, and I wouldn't fault you for that. So we've got the first cycle above the 50 EMA. If it starts to accelerate from here, then I'd say it'll be going through these this resistance level, although you might want to target a part of your order at that resistance level just in case. Yeah, so we'll see. Can you please run through the stop management on the QnA? I took this trade too and moved stop to 79. I moved my stop to 78.80. Which is just above the high of this. The high here is 78.65, so 15 pips above the high of this bar, and which is slightly in the front of, so I'll make a bit of money on this initial trade and lose on this trade, but that's where my stop's at the moment. And once I get my stop to this, this one being risk-free, then I'll just look for reversal bars. But obviously I'd like to see it a bit lower than where it's at. This was a seller bar by 2 pips. It was a 100 pip range, so 50 pips brings it to oh no, it's actually a buy bar. But anyway, certainly has moved enough for us to get move your stop here. Yep. And that's the first time I've moved the stop on. Oh, sorry, did move it after this reversal bar to above that, and then moved it again today. Yep. And this one potentially, I've got two consecutive buy bars here. I could move my stop underneath that, but I'll wait until this one finishes, and I might get my stop under here somewhere underneath this bar. Pound knock, and that's it. That's all I got. Dog. Okay. What else? Do you have a look at 4 hour when considering stops? No. No, I couldn't give a shit what the 4 hours doing if I'm trading the daily. Could not. If I had done that, then this was heading north. I would have been stopped out of my order originally. Having got in the trade here, managing my trade on the 4 hour, I would have been panicking and getting out, and now I'm in the money. 4 hour heading north. What are you getting now though? You're getting a cycle underneath the 50 on the 4 hour. You could potentially look to add to your trade if you wanted to. Scale in. 4 hour heading north, scale in. 4 hour heading north, scale in. Yes, it was a doji looking bar, and right now it's a inside kind of buyer bar, but I'm not freaking out about that. I'll wait till tomorrow morning to worry about it. Certainly never look down a time frame to manage your trade. You just panic out of things, right? All this buying here was, would have potentially panicked you out of the trade. Now you're in the money. Notice yourself doing so. That's the danger. Is when we're trading in a day, and you're sitting here and you're looking at the hourly chart or the 4 hour chart. You're looking for other opportunities, or just because you're bored and you're watching the markets and you're going, well, shit, perhaps I should trade this long. You've got to be clear, and perhaps having comments on your trades, saying, well, this is the day trade, so I'll worry about this particular trade on the daily time frame. You can be trading intraday, not a problem, but you manage your trade on the time frame you entered on. Okay. Right. Roger. Cool. Well, Roger Dodger, that's us for the day. Excuse me. We shall chat again on Friday, and yeah, I'll get some emails out in regards to setting up some groups of locals. Basically, I'll be giving you the each other's emails. Obviously, I'm not going to give the email group from Adelaide across to Perth. So I'll put you in touch with your local prop traders, and you guys can go and have a beer together. Cool. Thanks, guys, and I'll chat again on Friday. Cheers.